What's up, A to Z Sports Live? Our Titan Game Day live post-game show ends like they all have with me on the show, and that is a Titans loss. They dropped to 1-5 on the season with an embarrassing blowout, 34-10, the final score in Buffalo. There was a lot of questions that we needed to ask in our pregame show as Mason Rudolph made his first start as a Titan with Will Levis still working through the right shoulder injury. And now there is even more questions, I think, coming out of this game. Did we answer some of the questions we had coming in, which was how does this team look like without Will Levis? Well, yeah. And then there's DeAndre Hopkins just sitting there on the sideline with his arms behind his back, crossed with a helmet on. Not really sure what's going on there, but we have a ton to get to as the Titans get their asses kicked. And by the way, Rousseau is French for Titans get their ass kicked. As we get through here, Easton, welcome in. I'm Austin Stanley. We're going to have a interesting post-game show. Get the people in here and get the people telling what they got to do because it's not our fault the Titans stink. So make sure you tell people like the show.
That's right. It's not our fault. So we need you guys to hit that like button, whether you're watching with us on Twitch, YouTube, or on Facebook. Hit that thumbs up for us. I know that you are not in a good mood. We're not in a good mood, but we do need to talk about it. A little bit of Titans therapy, as we unfortunately have tended to have to do on these post-game shows. And the best way for us to get this to as many people as possible is for you to hit like. So like the show. It is huge for us if you can do that for us. And then join us in the comments. We want to hear from you guys, your reaction to another Titans loss. 34
unanswered.
Okay, just double checking. 34 unanswered points allowed for the Buffalo Bills in that one. And a complete and utter disaster down the stretch for the Titans team that just further reinforces that they can't finish games. It's another win probability chart, Austin. I was looking at it a moment ago, where it's like the mountain climber and they're sitting around 50% at halftime, and then a precipitous plummet into the depths of hell very quickly after they come out of that locker room. I don't know if what do you think they do at halftime? Do you think they go in there and like get as much progress done as possible on the team jigsaw puzzle? Do they fire up Fortnite? Like, what are they doing in there exactly? I'm not sure. I'd be curious to find out. Clearly, it's not looking at how they can get better in the second half.
Yeah, heck of a question. So let's start to answer some of these questions. Welcome into Titan Game Day Live. This is our post-game show presented by our friends X Golf Nashville and Murfreesboro, BetMGM, and T-Dot. Nobody trashes Tennessee, as Easton said. Make sure you hit that like button. It's not our fault the Titans stink, but you can hit the like button. That helps us out here with A to Z Sports with all of our Titans coverage. So when we want to dive into all this, right? 34-10 is the final. The game started great. Mason Rudolph put together a 10-0 lead for the Titans in the first half, and then 34 unanswered points. And honestly, a game that was just flat out despicable in the second half. And honestly, Easton, I think this game is very, very easy to point fingers at. This game was lost by Brian Callahan back-to-back bad decisions. The opening drive of the second half, Easton, the Titans get the ball with a 10-7 lead. We talked about it at the halftime show briefly. Can they go get any type of points? Can they? The answer was no, because Mason Rudolph on second down looked like, to me, he got the first down with his legs. There was no review. There was no extra look at the spot. It was just, let's get up to the line of scrimmage and for some reason do a direct snap to Tony Pollard that looked like it was the Little Giants out there running a play against the Cowboys with Ed O'Neill coaching. So they failed at that miserably. That was a bad decision on top of not looking at the spot for Rudolph. Bad decision. Then Brian Callahan.
Poor execution was bad. A bad decision. The poor execution was the coach's fault.
No, the direct snap. That was a dumb play. It was a dumb, like you've been so good at running the football.
No, I think it was a play that got botched because the execution was as bad as humanly possible.
Because it's not something you do. Why would you don't run a trick play there? That's just like common sense.
It's not a trick play. It's a direct snap. It's not a trick play.
Well, they clearly have not practiced it enough because it looked.
Well, I disagree with you on this, but I'll let you continue.
Fine. Well, then they decide to go for it on fourth down, and they run straight into the teeth of a fired-up Bills defense and get absolutely stuffed there. That was a bad decision, too, to go for it in a bad play call because they couldn't execute it, too. Like, I think it was a disaster. The Titans lost the game when they lost that turnover on downs, and because it allowed the crowd to get right back into it. You disagree. You clearly disagree that that's where they lost the game. Okay.
Why? Strongly disagree.
Why?
I have to be consistent on this. And last week, I criticized the Titans for their fourth down decision-making in the second half for being too timid, not being aggressive. It is not the coach's fault that on those back-to-back plays, 3rd and 1 and 4th and 2, or whatever it was, the Titans, maybe their two most poorly executed plays of the day, they stunk. They did not execute. Not a single player on the field executed properly. They got beat man to man. Is that the coach's fault that they got beat? No. This team has stunk out loud on short yardage running the ball this year. Unless
don't call short yardage.
Hang on. They have stunk out loud all year on short yardage plays running the ball, unless it's Will Levis sneaking the ball. Big boy can sneak the ball effectively. Other than that, they have not done a good job of it. That is on an offensive line that is built with beef. They should be able to lean on every defensive line and just fall forward because they are bigger than the defenders they're playing. The coach is playing aggressive in a game where you're a super big underdog. You're on the road. You're playing to win the game there. I don't mind the decision at all. I'm looking forward to seeing the fourth down decision-making models to see what those numbers were.
I don't give a shit about the models.
I think that you're a
dumb decision.
Complete prisoner of the moment.
That is dumb football coaching.
If they convert, you're praising it to the cows come home. Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are. You're a complete prisoner of the moment on this.
No, time out. I'm not. Because the direct snap to Tony Pollard was dumb. It was stupid.
No,
everybody can see that. No,
they ruined the play.
Easton. Huh?
They didn't run the play right.
Yeah,
the players didn't run the play right. The coaches can't run the play for them. The coach can't do that for them.
So don't call a gimmicky play when you trust.
It's not a gimmicky play. They just blew it. They screwed up the play. It's a direct snap to the running back.
We see this at
every level of football. We see this kind of play all the time. It's a direct snap.
Easton, let me ask you this.
Do you know who Derrick Henry is? How many times have they dealt with him?
Yeah, because he's a freaking Mack truck. Tony Pollard might be a sports car.
Tony Pollard was a fantastic runner all day in the first half. What are you talking about?
But a direct snap, guys? Like, come on. Like, everything with, like, do you know, like, a direct snap doesn't allow the running back to get the same level of momentum and power moving towards the line of scrimmage as a handoff does.
What are you talking about?
That's physics.
It eliminates the middleman of a handoff when you're in a obvious run situation, which they were. Instead of giving the ball to the quarterback to then hand off to the running back,
that's not how it works.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That is not. I'm about to lose my mind. The direct snap was awful. They couldn't execute it. They were doing good. They were successful offensively in the first half because they created deception with play action, with rollouts, with delayed handoffs, with making the Bills defense think, not directing, snapping the football to their 190-pound running back behind an offensive line that gets blown up because
I can't believe you're excusing the
it's so bad,
awful execution of this team. I can't believe you are scapegoating the coach for the god-awful execution of this football team.
It's bad. It's bad execution because it was a dumb play call.
Even if it's a dumb play call, it's worse execution. Even if, which I disagree with.
Stupid.
Then you just agreed that your point is dumb.
No, I'm not.
Yes, because even if I agree with your premise that it was a poor decision by the coaches, it was even worse execution. So either way, it's on the players for not doing their job.
It's
on the players.
So bad, man.
The team stinks.
Yeah, so run a direct snap on 3rd and 1.
So what do you want them to do on 3rd and 1? What do you want
run any of the plays, a play action, a regular handoff, something that makes it look like they have other options.
Tony Pollard was averaging over 5 yards a play in the first half running the ball. Up the middle.
Easton, timeout. When you're a linebacker, do you know what you have to read on a direct snap to the running back? Nothing. You go straight forward into the face of the offense.
You're straw manning the argument. I just a moment ago said that's the point.
That's defense.
I a moment ago said that's the point. I don't know. You're telling me something I already told you just a second ago. That it eliminates the middleman. You give when it's an obvious run situation, which they were in.
No, they weren't.
You give up the ghost and you go max up the middle. You eliminate the middleman of the quarterback handing off the ball, and you let the running back get a head full of steam with the ball immediately. They failed to execute the play.
Yeah, because it was a terrible play. It was a terrible play call. Do you know the reason? Like, there's
you
a
wouldn't
long.
be saying this if they converted.
Do you know the reason? Do you know the reason why I hated the Titans' inability to execute the Derrick Henry toss sweep? Do you know why? Is because a toss action to Derrick Henry tells the linebacker one thing: horizontal, go run with him. Where when you have Derrick Henry running downhill, the running back has to make a decision, or linebacker has to make a decision, because Derrick Henry's really good at the cutback. You eliminate decision making and reads for linebackers when you direct snap it to Tony Pollard in that situation. Like, you don't create any deception, any thought, any cues.
I don't know what you're arguing, Austin. I don't know what you're arguing.
That Brian Callahan lost the game by 2 back-to-back bad play calls. Go for it on 4th down, sure, whatever. But like running it right into the teeth of an offensive line that just got blown up on 3rd and 1 to create 4th and 2 is really bad.
Every single one of you, Austin, you and everybody in the chat that's giving me a hard time, you're all looking to scapegoat the god-awful execution of this football team.
It was bad.
Players, so you are looking. No, let me finish. You're looking to scapegoat the poor execution of the 11 players on the field by blaming the coach. It's pathetic that you're all letting them off the hook for awful execution.
No, because you know what coaching,
the players do the playing.
You know what coaches are supposed to do? Make up for bad players. And sometimes you have to call things to put your players in successful situations.
They're not bad players. They're executing poorly. No, they're not. J.C. Latham is a bad player. Peter Skoronski is a bad player. Tony Pollard's a bad player. What are you talking about?
They're a bad.
Wood Kushner is a bad player. They're playing poorly. It doesn't make them bad players. They're good players, which is what's so frustrating. Is they're good players executing so poorly. In this situation, they were good players that executed.
Because it's hard to execute when you have a brick wall like falling on your face. Like that's what
J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski are the brick wall. They're the ones that do the falling.
No, they got run blitzed to death, and they had there were so many. It was a bad play call because the entire Bills defense knew exactly what to attack when you direct snap it to Tony Pollard. You attack the line of scrimmage.
It's 3rd and 1. What do you think the offense is going to do? This is such
you can do so many things on 3rd and 1. Easton, what?
I know you can, but they were running effectively, so why not run? They were running at 5 yards a clip. Why not run, Austin?
But no, you can run the ball, but you don't just give away any deception and do a direct snap. That's the whole point.
It's not like they motioned out the quarterback and it was clearly a direct snap before the snap was made. It was the quarterback and the running back standing there. It just happened to go to the running back. It's not like they all knew pre-snap where it was going.
But what you do when you see the running back why are we're still talking about this? Okay, let's move on because we are clearly on different paths.
Well, we're talking about it because you think it was the entire game on those 2 plays, which I think is crazy.
I think
they gave up 34 unanswered points.
Yes, because it broke everything else, right? Because the whole reason why we're talking about the Titans defense being really good until they're not is because they can't be perfect with a bad offense and offenses that put them in bad situations over and over and over. The Titans defense broke after they saw that here we go again. It's all of that. They quit at the end of that game. The Titans defense quit at the end of the game.
Yes, but I disagree that they broke after those plays. They allowed one bad, I think it was 3rd and 12 completion.
Let's move on. Let's move on from that.
Because I do want to talk about, genuinely, I do think it's important for us to talk about what happened after those plays.
Yes.
Because that's when the Titans offense got behind the sticks consistently.
Yes, because everybody, because the Bills got hype. That 4th down stop allowed the entire stadium to start acting like it was an SEC drunk stadium on CBS. In the afternoons. I mean, it was everything got rocking the Bills' direction after the Bills got a stop on defense and the Titans offense got shut up in the face and the Titans defense gave up points, right? It was a disaster from that point on. There were other bad things to get to. I want to get the audience involved here because we haven't done that yet. We got really, really deep into that one possession. There's a lot of bad things that happened after it. But let's go ahead and get into our one-word question. What is one word to describe the Titans' loss to the Bills? What is one word to describe the Titans' loss to the Bills today, giving up 34 unanswered points? 34 unanswered points by the Titans. So what is one word to describe the Titans' loss today to Buffalo? But first, I want to tell everybody about our friends at TDOT. There's 88 million pieces of litter on Tennessee's roadways, and you can all be a part of helping and fix Tennessee by ending littering and help be the solution to end littering across the state. TDOT spends $23 million every year to clean up litter across our roadways, and we can change things by stopping littering ourselves, picking up litter when you see it, or join the local cleanups that TDOT has already organized out there for you to go to nobodytrashestennessee.com, sign up and show up to those litter cleanups around you today to be a part of the community right there. So Easton, I'll send you the chat. There's over 120 comments here. One words. Let's see if you can read as many one words as you can here. One word to describe the Titans.
Still trying to scroll up to back where the beginning of this is. Holy cow, guys. Wow. All right. One words. Here we go. Here's the top. We got pathetic from Alvante, predictable, vomit, unfocused, pathetic. Can't say that. Typical, expected. Tank, normal, Callahan, soy, embarrassment, revealing, suck, horrific, implosion, other things I can't say, trash, debacle, draft, egregious, comedy. I did see somebody earlier say that the Titans are the best comedy on TV right now. CBS at noons. Check them out. Man, do you have your one word? Because honestly, I'm still sitting here trying to figure out mine. Go ahead. Yeah.
My one word is despicable, because I thought this was a despicable performance in the second half. I thought they did so many good things in the first half to have the Bills defense not quite be on the balls of their feet. They had to kind of be a little flat-footed to think a little. And then they did none of that.
Good offense in the first half. Not amazing, just good. And 5.7 yards per play, 200 yards of offense. Good offense.
Good offense. They were bad offense. There was a lot more. Now,
no offense. No offense.
Early in the third quarter, before the game got out of hand, because once the game gets out of hand, whatever, you have to drop back and throw it a million times. I understand that. But there was very little play action. There was very little moving of Mason Rudolph like they did early. The tight ends didn't get involved late. They couldn't get Tony Pollard.
The O-line disintegrated.
The O-line was terrible. And so then the defense, I think, gave up at the end. And I don't know if I really need to blame them.
Of course they did. They were on the field for twice as long as the offense was, right? At one point they flashed up the time of possession in the second half. It was like 15-5.
Yep. And so I think I think this is a despicable second half. That's my one word to describe this, because you did so many good things and then you decided to do zero of those things in the second half, and it was toast. It was over after that. So despicable is my one word. Now, let's say Ty says the first half had Austin thinking Rudolph was a Hall of Famer. Oh no, I've never decided to buy into Mason Rudolph. Have I? No, I don't think I've done that at all. I did win my bet. I was excited about him having 18 completions in the first half. So hopefully
time to get that 19th completion.
It did, but it happened.
It did.
And so, but no, I don't think Mason
Rudolph
is
negative 4 yards for me in the second half. Thanks for that. Jeez Louise.
Brutal, man. And so everything
was 65 out of 71 on my bet at halftime, and we ended up at 61 yards to finish the game.
Yeah.
Sick.
So
very cool.
Despicable is my one word. Do you have yours?
Sure. I mean, I've already thoroughly pissed off most everybody in the chat today, so I might as well double down on it, right, Austin? I'll say it was perfect, and it was the perfect Titans game for the shrewd long-term health of this team. Bummer that they lost the way that they did, but that game to me gives you I think you have absolutely no reason to play Mason Rudolph any more this year than you have to. I don't think that Will Levis may. I think back to this time last week in our post-game show, Austin, where I was once again making the chat mad by pointing out that I understand you guys think Levis is the problem, and he is a big part of the problem. I am not denying that. But I said, Austin, what did I say? I said, I think you guys are discounting just how many other things are wrong with this team. And in this game, I think that was borne out, unfortunately. I think that winning this game with Rudolph would have felt nice, and it would have been fun, and it would have been a fun, upset, and Titans fans would have felt some joy in their hearts for the second time all season. But in terms of what it does for them long term, what would the point have been? There would not have been one. And so I think you go back to Levis, and this is perfect for the Titans long term in terms of the long term health of the franchise.
Yeah, the Titans starting quarterback of the future is not currently on the roster.
I had a friend put it this way to me, Austin. I said, "This is a bar. I'm gonna use this in the show. Will Levis may very well be the problem, but Mason Rudolph is not the answer."
No, and I don't think anybody thought Mason Rudolph was going to be the answer. Never.
Oh, never. That's not true. That's not true.
No. I'm not talking about bro man on Twitter who's got like 8 digits of numbers after like 2 letters on his Twitter handle. Like I'm talking about.
But what about every person that says, well, this team's 4-1 right now if they just played Rudolph from the beginning of the year? That means Rudolph's the answer, right? And I saw that from a million people.
No. I think that's different. Like
it's the answer to the team being good.
No, it doesn't mean that he's the long-term answer to contend. It doesn't mean he's the franchise quarterback.
But it means he's the answer to this team being good, is my point. Is that people without Levis, this team is. I understand what you're saying. I think you're misunderstanding me, Austin. I get that you are saying no, but very few. It was the fringe people that thought Rudolph could be a long-term answer. That's not what I'm talking about. So I get that. What I'm saying is many, many real people believe that the answer to this team just being a good team was a simple quarterback switch, that this team is actually good if not for their boneheaded quarterback. And my point is, I don't think that's true right now.
I think, and I can only speak for me and for the majority of what I've seen, is that I think the majority of Titans fans / media believe that this team would probably win more games with Mason Rudolph this season than Will Levis, but it still would just put you in purgatory. And you wouldn't learn anything about Levis. You would not be able to draft the quarterback high in the future. You would just win 6 or 7 games and be picking like 11th and get somebody or have to give too much.
That's true. I mean, again, how many people have you seen say the Titans have 3 or 4 wins right now with Rudolph?
I don't care about those people, to be honest.
That's a lot of real people, Austin. That's something that's been said on this show before.
I mean, if anybody wants to, yes, by comments. There's a lot of comments. There's a lot of people that watch shows. There's a lot of people that comment that aren't correct.
We've talked about this. How many Titans wins do they have if they start Rudolph from the beginning of the year?
And
I think previous weeks we talked about how do they have 3 or 4 wins right now if they start Rudolph?
I don't think they do. I could think they beat the Bears, but
you definitely at one point said they probably win their first 2 games if Rudolph. So that's 2. They win the Miami game, obviously. That's 3.
I've also said that.
So 3 wins?
I said that they probably I said they beat the Bears. I did not say that they would beat the Jets. I said that but I also said that I don't think Mason Rudolph would make the throw to Chig to score a touchdown.
You did say that. That's true.
I also don't think he would throw the touchdown to Ridley against the Jets. So I think there's so many different things in play here, but no, I think they would have beaten the Colts last week with Mason Rudolph. I think Mason Rudolph is a better quarterback right now. I think Mason Rudolph is a better quarterback than Will Levis right now.
I'm not
that doesn't mean anything.
I'm not disputing that. But so do you agree with my one word, by the way? Do you think that
it's perfect for long term?
That in terms of the shrewd answer here is that it's long term, it's the best case for the Titans?
To lose this game?
Losing ultimately.
No, I don't
but
think.
But the way that it happened more so.
I think there's one thing I point to. By the way, Marcus Mariota is in the game for the Commanders as Jaden Daniels has gone in the locker room hurt.
Oh no. My fantasy team rib. Okay, rib injury. All right, so it's not we can come back from a rib.
I think do I want to get into this right now?
I think
it's impossible to avoid it. Did it not look like DeAndre Hopkins was told mid-game that he was getting traded?
Oh, no, I do want to get into this. I do.
So
why would you not want to get into this right now?
Because we have 5 days to talk about it coming up.
Oh, just because we talk about it today doesn't mean we can't talk about it again tomorrow.
I know.
He looked like a person that had either been told. Would you be shocked if right now across our ticker was like Titans?
I've scanned for it.
I know. I wouldn't be shocked. The body language was maybe he's hurt, and then the broadcast did confirm not hurt. He's standing next to Brian Callahan by himself. It was weird. At one point, he did put his helmet on, tightened up the chin strap. Okay,
he did tighten it, yeah.
Coming in? No. Okay, didn't end up coming in. I think he ended up with 1 catch on the day.
Early on a 3rd down conversion.
1 target, 1 catch, -2 yards. So he looks like a guy that was at the very least
-2 yards. No, he had. That's not right.
That's what Next Gen Stats says, but
no, that is not correct.
Okay.
He converted a 3rd down.
You're right. I don't know why.
That's not right.
Yeah, they got it wrong here. It was 1 catch. It was 1 catch though, right?
He converted a 3rd down, right?
Okay,
I don't know what that is. That's a mess up by the stat books.
Yeah, they'll fix it.
Anyway,
he looked like at the very least a guy that was his team was protecting their most tradable asset from a game that they felt was lost, at least, right?
Yeah.
And maybe more than that. Maybe they actively are trading him, but at least they're protecting their most tradable asset.
And I think trading DeAndre Hopkins would be a mistake because if you're trying to do anything to salvage the quarterback that wears number 8 on the roster, I think having DeAndre Hopkins for the remainder of the season is a benefit. Even if you're not getting any value for him walking in the future, I still think there is some type of benefit to having DeAndre Hopkins to throw to for Will Levis. And a trading away of DeAndre Hopkins, I think, signals something bigger about Will Levis. But maybe that's the case. I would hate to see the Titans have a superstar. DeAndre Hopkins is a superstar. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's not a 1,000-yard receiver anymore. Maybe he's not a Pro Bowler right now, but he is a superstar, which means he has impact across the league. Superstar. And he wants to be here. He is hosting live mic sessions with local songwriters on Broadway, and he wants to be here so damn bad.
He's practically running for mayor of the city. He loves
it. And you're going to trade him, it feels like. He's a superstar that I think helps the Tennessee Titans organization. And I don't know if a 4th-round pick from the Chiefs or somebody is worth it. I don't, that's
Travis Brownlee Jr. It's an opportunity for a starting caliber player. You know what? I'm not going to respond to you because I don't want to burn this particular part of the conversation about whether or not it would be the right thing to do. That's definitely something we can talk about later this week. And it is a long conversation. So
yeah,
I will move on.
But
I think we can agree. It feels like, feels like it's over.
It looks like DeAndre Hopkins was told mid-second half, you're being traded. So you're sitting down. Mm-hmm. There's no, I don't know what else it would be. Brutal, man.
Injury, and he's not hurt. So
no, he's not hurt. All right. Yeah. Let's go to all right. We need to do grade the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
We're going to grade the quarterback. And I also want to go into the X Factor conversation with X Golf about the questions that you asked questions on the pregame show and in your article yesterday. I want to go through those here in a second, but I do want to grade the quarterback. So let's
not forget, many people paid us extra money to.
I'm going to get the super chats too. I've got super chats. We're going to talk about the quarterback.
A lot of money thrown around to call you an idiot, which I do appreciate.
Yep. We're going to get to super chats soon, but real quick, X Golf, they are the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee with 2 locations, Nashville location, the OG, that's about 2 years old. Then the new location that opened earlier in 2024 in Murfreesboro. If you're looking for something to do on your weekends to watch college football, the NFL, it's a great spot to go hang out at because the weather is getting a little bit cooler, which means maybe you're not able to go out there on your local golf course, but you want the best golf simulator in the market today. And they got it at X Golf Nashville and X Golf Murfreesboro. Go to playxgolf.com to book your tee time on their golf simulators. It's a full sports bar with TVs galore and the best simulator out there. The best thing about X Golf Simulator, other than the fact that you can basically play every course that you want to, it's that you don't have to bend over to tee up your ball. All you got to do is take your club head, hit that button, and it pops it right back up.
You love this feature, man.
It's amazing.
It's your favorite thing.
It is amazing. A self-tier is the best. It's like a bowling ball return thing, except that it puts it in your hand. It's like if a bowling ball return, put it directly in your hand. That is what this is at X Golf.
We're headed straight for the Wally humans on the ship.
Yep. Okay. Quarterback grade for Mason Rudolph. How do you grade Mason Rudolph's performance? I will go through the stat line and we'll give a letter grade. Then we'll talk about the questions that we might or might not have answers for. He was 25 of 40 for 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, was sacked 3 times, and ran the ball 5 times for 13 total yards. Easton, what are you seeing any grades from the chat? You want to go to the chat first for some grades for Mason Rudolph?
Sure. We got plenty of grades from the chat here. Largely seasoned D's, a D from Antoine, a D from Jay, a D plus from Hammer, a D minus from Steve, a D from God's Child, a C minus for Zoe, a C minus for Taylor. Trying to find anything that is not a C or a D. I am failing to do so, except for Jeremy's Z, which is new on the grading scale. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, here's a B from Julius, a 3 from Kyle. We're just making up things now.
A 3 is a fail. out of 100.
Okay, yeah, 3 out of 100. An F from Yendis. Okay, so my grade, folks that have been with us through the season in the post-game show, I've drawn a lot of ire for the grades I've given to Will Levis because I've been lenient given the circumstances. So if I am nothing if not consistent, Austin, I've been lenient for Levis given his circumstances. I'm going to be somewhat lenient for Mason Rudolph given his circumstances. If we had given out grades at halftime, they would have looked a whole lot different than they are going to look right now. Yep. That second half, he was not given many opportunities to succeed by his offensive line. The few opportunities that he did have, unfortunately, missed the mark. A handful of relatively ugly throws in there. I'll give him a C-. I'll give him a C-. I think that's in the ballpark of the lenient grades I've given to Will Levis in the past. I think that we can't forget that he had a strong first half and looked like the efficient backup that we know that he is for a half, but we also can't discount how bad that second half was.
The second half was bad. I honestly don't know how much of that is Mason Rudolph's fault. He missed throws, absolutely missed throws. And so I think C- is the appropriate grade.
Okay.
I don't think it was a,
look at that.
We do agree. Like, I don't hate you. I got really mad earlier, by the way, but that's just about football. Like,
Austin, if we agreed on every show, it would be so boring.
And I don't want to go back to the conversation about the direct snap because I thought that was so stupid. But no, I think your grade on Rudolph is accurate because he operated the offense cleanly until everything fell apart. And he wasn't one of the first things to fall apart. Things fell apart around him, and then he got hit by the shrapnel. That's what I feel like about Mason Rudolph. Where with Will Levis, it seems like he is one of the first things to fall apart, and then he hits others with a shrapnel. Sometimes it's a ball boy on the sideline that gets hit with the Will Levis shrapnel. I'm sorry.
That's so tough. That poor man's in recovery. How dare you?
Out of my mouth.
It's all right.
But I do think that Mason Rudolph is a better quarterback than Will Levis at this point in their careers. I don't think many people can watch the two operate an offense and think otherwise. I think Will Levis obviously has a higher ceiling to be a quarterback in the NFL than Mason Rudolph does, but we're not talking about their ceilings. We're talking about right now. And Mason Rudolph can run an offense where Will Levis can't. Mason Rudolph can stay calm where Will Levis doesn't, but he is limited. And, it just wasn't. By the way,
Mason got a little bit of that will in him there at the end. A couple,
I know, right?
Will Levis-esque decisions that he made in the second half.
Maybe it's contagious. It's in the Mayo.
Well, listen, I mean, it's not I get that Levis does it at such a high clip, so it's impossible to ignore. But we have to zoom out a little bit as Titans fans have to realize, we see this kind of stuff from quarterbacks when they're in constant chaos all the time. It's just that the other guys sometimes get away with it, and there's some luck involved when you randomly throw a ball away, and whether it goes into the opponent's hands or if it falls harmlessly to the ground. And then also, I'm not excusing what Levis did. I'm just saying, it's not just a Levis thing. When you're in chaos, people are prone to do really dumb things like that. It's just Levis does them more.
For sure. So we both agree C-. Now let's get to some super chats here.
By the way, Josh Allen, what grade would you give him?
Fantastic.
Just out of curiosity.
Fantastic.
Really? See, I don't think we can ignore the first half. I'd give him an A- or a B+. I wouldn't give him.
The dude finished with 21 out of 33, 323 and 2 touchdowns, sacked once. He was not. He
was a star when they needed him in the fourth quarter, in the second or third or fourth quarter. You ask me, he is absolutely by far not close second best quarterback in the league. So I'm not an Allen hater at all. I love Josh Allen.
Fantastic might be a little strong. He was very good in the second half because he was not good in the first. So that's good.
Super chats.
Kicker of the King says, where are the folks that said Mason better than Malik? Fools. No, that's not accurate either. Mason Rudolph is a better quarterback than Malik Willis. Why are we doing this?
Put Malik Willis in this chaos and see what happens.
Can we please stop talking about Malik Willis? You paid for this comment, and I had to. I had to say that. Malik Willis is gone. The Titans did a favor and did good by Malik Willis to trade him to somewhere where he had an opportunity to be a backup. Can we let it go? Malik Willis.
We have a new rule. We just ignore all Malik Willis comments.
Even if it's a super chat? No, we can't. Because
if we tell the people, don't waste your money on something we're not going to talk about. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
King VC says 3 things. 1, always lock in and like the show. So please like the show if you're watching on Facebook or
like.
2, I'm really from King BC. I'm really thinking we're doing this second half's not scoring thing on purpose. 3, I demand someone ask Calvin Ridley about these drops. So let's work through number 2 first.
2 things there.
That people are already liking the show. So hit that like button. The second halves. Easton, I don't know if you want to do live math. It's usually dangerous.
I have already done half of the math. Give
That's
me 10
good.
seconds. I'll have the rest of the math done.
Okay.
I did it mid-game there.
Going into this game, the Titans were what? Minus 28 in the fourth quarter. Is that correct? Yes.
No, minus 21 in the fourth quarter coming into this game.
Okay.
Plus 28 in the first 3 quarters.
That's right.
Minus 21 in the fourth quarter coming into this game.
So you can make that fourth quarter minus 38. Minus 38 in the fourth quarter.
So here's all of them. I've got them all now.
Okay.
So let me hit post on this real quick. Twitter. There we go. So last week, just a refresher coming into the game, the Titans were plus 4 in the first quarter, plus 10 in the second, plus 14 in the third, minus 21 in the fourth quarter. As of today, after that embarrassment, they are now plus 7 in the first quarter, plus 10 in the second quarter. So plus 17 in the first half of games, plus 4 in the third quarter, minus 38 in the fourth quarter. So they are plus 17 in first halves and minus 34 in second halves.
That's pretty pathetic. Now, are they doing it on purpose?
No, I can say that with authority. They are not doing it on purpose.
Here is a DeAndre Hopkins update. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
From Teron Davenport. DeAndre Hopkins said he has some soreness at the end of the game, which caused him to be out. Brian Callahan said it wasn't a coach's decision and that he had to check with trainers.
Wasn't a coach's decision. So was it a trainer decision or was it a D-Hop decision? Or a front office decision?
It was not Brian Callahan's decision. I think we can say that much.
Well, I mean, if he's telling the truth there, then not his decision. But whose was it?
King VC's third point. I demand someone ask Calvin Ridley about these drops. I'm guessing it has been asked because I've seen on my timeline Calvin Ridley videos on Twitter. So more super chats here. TLG says Titan family chillax. All we need is every premium position on offense besides left tackle and 2 pass rushers. Easy. The Tennessee Clippers.
Tennessee with 1 E, by the way. Yeah.
Nice. Jason Davis, big super chat. We're going back to the 3rd and 1 direct snap. Easton, you're 100% wrong. You don't run ISO out of 13 personnel after getting stuffed on 3rd and 1. Austin is 1,000% correct. Callahan is a coaching decision terrorist that deserves to get taken out like public enemy number 1. I did not pre-read that super chat.
That last part we certainly don't condone.
I mean, very funny use of the English language in comedic reasons only, but
I'm not going to dive back into this. We hashed out what I will say, and the majority of our argument was about the 3rd and 1 call, the direct snap, and I will say that I did not mind the 3rd and 1 call. I did mind the execution. I did sort of mind the 4th and 2 call. Wasn't crazy about that. But I even on that one, I think it's bad call, worse execution. But to the point of the second call being a double down, that was not maybe the best call. I'm with you there. I would do something different.
TLG super chat says, I'm with Austin. That play call was dumb as hell and swung the momentum. With this team, there is zero margin for error, and that cute bleep needs to go. Play field position, learn to read the room. I do
see it all the time. It's not this complicated trick play to snap the ball to a running back. Holy cow, guys.
I think the main thing of my point is the direct snap is not something they do within their offense. That is my problem with it. If this was like with Derrick Henry, they established the King Cat direct snap, right? And so it made sense.
That's different because this was not a wildcat formation, right?
I know.
Quarterback was still there.
And I just want to say the direct snap has not been a part of their offense. It doesn't need to be. When I saw the execution of it, yes, it was poor up front, but also Tony Pollard, beyond poor. Tony Pollard having to focus on catching the ball and then going forward and then read the front. He would have been more effective as a runner because he's got good vision, he's got quick skills. But by forcing him to catch the snap first, it delayed everything else. And so it gave Tony Pollard less of an opportunity to make a play because he had to hesitate to catch the snap. Where on handoffs, you open up that basket and you close it when you feel that quarterback throw it in your gut. And you are reading while you're doing that. Like receiving a handoff in football is designed to be an involuntary movement. Like just like the surrender code.
I get what you're saying.
Right?
I get
and
what you're saying.
The hesitation of catching a direct snap, I think, slowed it down. More super chat.
I do not think that element of it is what caused that play to go poorly.
I think it played a part.
That's crazy.
Like, I think the offensive line got blown up, and 2, I think Tony Pollard.
So it wouldn't have mattered. The offensive line got murdered, so it wouldn't have mattered.
All right. TLG says Easton is a contrarian. Austin, don't waste your time.
It's not true. If Austin was just right, I wouldn't disagree with him all the time. That's where you're wrong.
Oh God. Darren says placing blame on a coach when the play is botched is sad. You can't say a play is bad if the play never gets off the ground. How do you know the players effed it up from the jump?
I'm glad at least one person understands what I'm saying.
I just think like, how did they have success? They had success in the first half with deception of the football, with pulling guys, with doing things horizontally, with play action, with delays, with draws, with so many different things. And you just do a direct snap it's basically just run as fast as you can and throw your head in the middle of a pile. Like that's not what they were doing.
Less than 1. You've been running the ball effectively. You should be able to convert.
But you were running the ball effectively different. Like you weren't running the ball effectively like you were a battering ram. You ran it.
Again, the defense didn't know whether it was run or pass pre-snap. I'm sure they had an inkling because it's 3rd and 1, and just statistically, that's a run play. But it's not like they went with a weird wildcat formation that telegraphed the play call.
All right.
It was a direct snap to the running back.
TLG, Texans about to wrap up the division by week 9. That's wild as hell. AFC South down bad. It's a sad, sad day.
Actually, every AFC South team won today besides the Titans. No, just kidding. Everybody was the Titans and Texans lost. The Jaguars and Colts won. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think the silver lining is that Anthony Richardson doesn't look to be very good. And
so I didn't get to watch that game, obviously, because I mean, the little bits on Red Zone here and there. But I am dreading going back to watch that because I heard things. It's like being in the other room of like a horror hospital and you just hear the screams in the other room. Like, I don't want to know what's going on in there, but I have to look later.
Yeah, for sure. Zachary Smith says, usually when you spread $100 million on anything in life, it's an upgrade. Titans must have bought off Temu. Man, that's a hell of a comment.
They bought $100 million beachfront property in a place that's going to be underwater in the next 2 years. Like, we've seen those videos of like off the coast of Carolina, people's houses just sinking into the ocean.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, that's what the Titans did.
Zoe Almighty says, get ready, Austin, having Shadur Sanders talks this off. I'm here for that, honestly.
Good for our business.
Yeah, I'm here for Shadur Sanders talk. Joey says, is Brian Callahan on the chopping block yet? No.
But
it doesn't mean
a lot of this, by the way.
But it doesn't mean that he is not like.
He's under pressure.
Yeah, he's under pressure, and you can criticize him. He's not safe from criticism, but his job should not be in jeopardy yet. TLG says Callahan is preparing the offense for answers to the wrong test.
I don't know.
Joseph says, let's grade Callie through the first quarter of the year. That could be a week conversation.
I'm sure.
And Barron says the Titans downgraded in coaching from Vrabel to Callahan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Results are the results. I mean, I can't just say
it's been 6 games.
I can't say you're wrong because Mike Vrabel was also not very good early on in his head coaching career. And they figured it out for a little bit. So yeah, it's
Callahan came from a place where they started like 1-5 the first year, and then they were quickly in the Super Bowl a couple years later.
I mean, I think we'll talk about that headline that you're going to write later.
Wait, what?
I just had a great idea, and I'm not going to spoil it on the postgame show.
I'm looking forward to finding out what I'm going to be writing later.
It's a good. I think you'll like it.
I know. I'm curious now.
Yeah. So, all right, that's all those super chats we have.
What else, man?
Nicholas Petitfrere.
Oh, sure. And getting behind the sticks. These can go in conjunction because I have some numbers for you.
Tell me the numbers.
Well, so I tweeted this out in the middle of the game. In that stretch, basically after they took a 10-0 lead, and then the Bills came roaring back. So like the back half of the second quarter into the most of the third quarter. I think they had six drives, a 6-drive stretch in which 2 of those drives were the end of half. So that drive that, whatever it turned into. And then turnover on downs. Yes, turnover on downs where they get stuffed twice.
Yep.
The other 4 in that 6-drive stretch, the third down yardage was 3rd and 10, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 18, 3rd and 28. When the wheels fell off, it was because offensively they consistently got behind the sticks every single drive.
In the first half, they get behind the sticks a couple times and actually made up for it.
This is true,
right?
But it was like 3rd and 7s, or 2nd.
But there was also, and they got like 1st and 15 and chopped away.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure.
I'm about to go full Mike Singletary on Nicholas Petit-Frere. Can't win with him. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't win with him. I'm dead serious. If I were on this coaching staff and I had the control to make a decision, my vote is I am having Nicholas Petit-Frere inactive for as many games as I possibly can. I do not want to see him play any more football. He is not good. And the other thing is, I don't see him like I don't see any fire. Like there is that's the whole can't win with him. Can't win with him. Fight, do something.
He's got that Traylon Burks in him a little bit.
Same draft class. We'll talk about that after the show too. He does. He's got that Traylon Burks in him. And you tweet out that tiny little anchor.
That is his anchor. He's the opposite of the kind of lineman.
Bad.
I mean, look at J.C. Latham. It's like he's the antithesis of a tackle of J.C. Latham. This guy, it's like his feet are what's the opposite of glued to the ground? Like allergic to the ground? He's got ground phobic feet.
It's probably like those hover shoes from Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's rocking out there because he's on skates.
No, he is. I mean, God Almighty, you can't play him. You can't.
He might be the weakest 300-pound man in the world.
He is so soft, guys. I'm saying, I'm done with him. He can't do it.
I don't think anybody isn't done. Well, I guess Bill
they
and
are
Callahan
because they put Leroy Watson inactive.
Well, folks wanted me to, clearly people want me to criticize this coaching staff. This is honestly my biggest criticism of the coaching staff's decision-making. You heard the broadcast explain, we talked to Brian Callahan. The reason why they had Watson inactive today after starting at right tackle last week is because they really did not want Will Levis to have to dress today and be that emergency third quarterback. Dumb dumb decision. What? How many times do people have to dip into their third quarterback? The fact that you didn't want to have him wear shoulder pads on the sideline all day. Dumb. Dress Levis. Don't waste an inactive on him. Or don't. Does
that even make sense?
Wait, now I'm questioning.
Explain.
That's what they said on the broadcast.
Makes no sense.
That's what they said on the broadcast. So now I'm trying to. You're right. So that
somebody messed that up. Not saying you did, but
I definitely chat back me up here. They said the reason why Watson was inactive was because they didn't.
It was about
Levis
the third running back. But that doesn't make any sense either.
But yeah, either way, it doesn't make sense.
They had two quarterbacks, two running backs.
Okay, well, ultimately, here's my criticism. Johnson, I'm not an idiot because it's what they did say. They literally did say it. I'm just reiterating what they said, and I'm realizing in real time that it's dumb. My point being, whatever the math was roster-wise, for them to not figure out a way to have Watson active and be the at least, because I still don't know why he wasn't the starter. That's a whole different conversation. But at the very least, make him the backup, and then you had to rock with MPF all game, and you saw what that got you. It serves him right. Serves him right that you had to deal with MPF like that because you made a dumb roster decision. Dumb.
I don't understand it. Like, you basically told us you were done with NPF when you started Leroy Watson last week.
Yeah.
Did
they make NPF inactive last week, or was he?
He was backup. He was active because Jalen Duncan was hurt.
Duncan was inactive. Yes.
Duncan was inactive last week, and then he's the starter. Like, what is the logic here?
So Duncan inactive, Watson starter, and then Watson inactive, Duncan starter. Before that,
you flipped it. NPF's last start in Miami, Duncan was on the practice squad. So you go from practice squad to starter, from inactive to starter, and starter to inactive. And NPF's just sitting there like getting the
snip, snap. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. Somebody says, Brian, why no Duncan hate? Oh, I mean, I gave that at halftime. He played 4 plays. He got hurt.
We said it before the show, like before the game. What?
It makes no sense. And so,
I actually think he's the worst of the 3 tackles. Personally, I think he's worse than MPF, Duncan. But that's a conversation for another day.
I don't think there is any way a decision where Nicholas Petit-Frere is dressed out in any game is a good thing. Like I get it if you have to dress him out because of injuries.
Has to be the backup. Dude, Duncan is worse than him. And it just lends to I have no idea why they were.
Go get somebody else.
Yes, that's the ultimate answer.
I'm at the point
already claimed, unfortunately. So
no, I don't care. Go get somebody else. Like, he doesn't need to play. Like you can find it. Like I'm gonna go like now.
Coach Herman they went and got Watson. They traded a 7th round pick for Watson.
Yeah. So why is he on the bench? Why is he dressed in?
You tell me, man. I don't know. He was fine last week. He committed some dumb penalties, but he didn't get his guy murdered. So pick your poison.
Golly. I can't watch NPF play right tackle anymore or left tackle just to cover my bases.
Well, I'm afraid the Titans are going to be doing you like Bird Box, holding your eyes open, making you
go. If you don't have a suit, go find a bum on the street and borrow from his. That's how I feel about right tackle right now for the Titans. They don't have a right tackle.
Dip into the XFL. Yeah.
Go get somebody. I can't watch anymore in Nicholas Petit-Frere because I don't. Like there's no urgency. It's the same thing we talked about with Traylon Burks. There's just no fight. There's no will. So what is he doing? I don't understand it.
When was the last time things were this bad?
Ken Wisenhunt got fired.
Yeah, I was thinking Wisenhunt earlier.
Yeah, Ken Wisenhunt got fired after I think a 1-6 start.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even mean the record, by the way. I just mean like the vibes, just the direction and the vibes.
I mean, there's like if you want to talk about like the tackle position, when Will Svitek gave up like 8 sacks to J.J. Watt and the Texans, and Jake Locker got hurt again.
Yeah, people in the chat saying last year was bad. It wasn't like this. I don't think
that's the crazy thing is like. Was Dennis Daly this bad as NPF? Like Dennis Daly?
Yeah, he was.
But like, was Dennis Daly like giving effort? Like, did Dennis Daly have visual effort when he was losing?
Yeah. He just really, really sucks. Okay. But yes, he was trying.
Nicholas Petit-Frere doesn't have visual effort when he loses.
It's 2 ways to get to the same result. I don't really care whether you're giving effort.
I want to go with a guy who's trying. I want to go with the guy I can see the visual effort.
It's easier to swallow where it's like, well, they just don't got it.
If he's just not good enough. Not the guy who's out there like sliding around on rollerblades.
Dennis Daly might have a better anchor than MPF.
Oh my gosh.
Dillard had a better anchor for sure than MPF.
No, Andre Dillard didn't try either.
He had a better anchor. He was bad in other ways.
Dillard and Andre Dillard and MPF are very much the same to me in my world.
And is Daly worse? They're all in the same boat for me.
Oh, I mean, Daly's probably the least talented of them. And the other 2 guys I can't win with them. Like I'm back to Mike Singletary. Can't win with them. Andre Dillard, former first round pick. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Well, tune in next week when the Titans take on the Detroit Lions and get murdered.
Fun trivia. Who was Mike Singletary talking about when he said that? Do you know it?
No, I do not know.
I'll let the chat catch up. When Mike Singletary said, can't win with him, won't do it, can't do it. Who was he talking about? He's a very, very prominent player. Boom. Stephen King nailed it. Yeah, they are all Vernon Davis.
Tough.
Can't win with him. Can't do it. All right. You got anything else to add?
Are the Titans now in last place, technically? Jaguars won. Who else has only 1 win? Oh, they are not in last place. The New England Patriots are in last place.
I think they would be the third to last. TLG says, NPF, master of Swiss cheese blocking technique. Joseph says, there is no leader on this team. It is not Jeffrey Simmons. Joseph, I co-sign with you on that. Very much so. Panthers. Browns are terrible.
Actually, Browns and Patriots are actively ahead of the Titans. The Panthers have a chance to be ahead of the Titans if they lose. The Rams have a chance to be tied with the Titans if they lose. So the Titans are somewhere between 3rd and 5th worst team in the league, which feels generous, actually.
Because the Titans have already had their bye week, so they have less losses.
Except for the Rams, who is all, yeah, exactly. That's the only reason. That's the one win club right there.
It's
Panthers,
not
Titans,
because
Rams,
they're worse.
Browns, Patriots. Even the Jaguars.
Hey, and if you're trying to get closer to being even worse, the Cleveland Browns quarterback got hurt today, and they might be better moving forward.
That's right. The Rams have a stud at quarterback, so they're not going to be dead until he's dead.
And Drake May
looks good. The Panthers, you know what? Panthers might be a problem. Not going to lie to you. Panthers might be a problem. And then who else am I missing here? I think that's it. So,
all right.
Lions up next. We want the Lions.
Yeah, we have some DeAndre Hopkins video up on our Twitter and our other social media.
Check it out.
DeAndre Hopkins really stressing the fact that players just do what they're told after their loss. Quote, I go out there and run what's called out of my control. Another quote, we go out and do what we're told. So weird stuff with the DeAndre Hopkins situation. We'll figure out what that could mean tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday.
Or the next day.
All right. That's it for us. Shout out to our great sponsors. It's not their fault the Titans suck, just like ours. It's not our fault either. But X Golf in Nashville and Murfreesboro, playxgolf.com. Make them a part of your weekends moving forward. We've got BetMGM. I did go 2-0 today. Shout out Mason Rudolph for over 18.5 completions. And also shout out Detroit Lions money line at plus 100 on the road at the Vikings. Today. And then also our friends at T-Dot, NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. Join the solution to end littering across the state by visiting NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. We'll catch you guys tomorrow on a Monday morning. Buck Rising has A to Z Sports prime time later today. Tons and tons of content going up on A2ZSports.com/Titans. That's where all of our articles and our video go. A2ZSports.com/Titans. And we will catch you guys later on. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Appreciate it.